Hey guys, what is going on? This is JinJin here. Today I'm going to be ranking all 10 of the worst cards in Clash Royale from least worst to absolute, most unusable worst. So anyways, let's get right into the list. Now number 10 is going to be Bowler. Number 10, Bowler is just, not that great of a card nowadays. He, uh, he defends, somewhat well against a lot of medium troops and everything. And some people still use him as an archetype with Graveyard, but otherwise he's just not that very used across the meta. There isn't really any solid decks that use Bowler in them. He seems just a tad bit spendy, and I don't know. He's not really terrible or anything like that. He's just very mediocre, and there's just a lot better cards that work better with him, and he was really only used with the Graveyard, and there's a lot of other different Graveyard decks that just work a lot better without the Bowler, which is why he's being ranked at number 10. Now, before I go to number 9, if you like these kinds of videos, be sure to subscribe to my channel because I come out with videos every day. At least I try to come out with a new video every day. And if you like this video, be sure to leave a like and comment below what you think is the worst card in the game. Because, everybody has their own different opinions, and, just tell me. I'm just curious. Anyways, number 9, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be the Fire Spirits. Now, the Fire Spirits are worse than Bowler in my opinion, because of kind of their one-time deal thing, if that makes sense. They only really do a bit of splash damage and that's it. They seem if Heal Spirit were to drop a heal when it splashes, it seems like Fire Spirits would drop a very weak Fireball when they splash. Or maybe arrows or something like that. They're just a troop that, just does a bit of splash damage and that's about it. Furnace is a lot better than Fire Spirits because Furnace just constantly keeps on spawning Fire Spirits. But the Fire Spirits in themselves just are not that great, ladies and gentlemen. I think that the Fire Spirits could definitely use a buff. And what I think the buff would be is make them 1 elixir, but then only have 2 Fire Spirits. Because here's the thing about the Furnace, right? The Furnace, each Fire Spirit from the Furnace is worth 0.7 elixir, right? So you only get a 0.1 elixir discount when you have 3 Fire Spirits for 2 elixir. But if you have 2 Fire Spirits that cost only 1 elixir, you get a whopping 0.4 elixir discount when you play the Fire Spirits, meaning that you can get, basically get a little bit more value from the Fire Spirits, and plus, the other 2 spirits cost only 1 elixir, so why not just have the Fire Spirits cost 1 elixir? I feel like the Fire Spirit would be very weak if it only costed, if there was only 1 of them, if there's only 1 Fire Spirit, I think it'd be very weak, so I think there's got to be 2 Fire Spirits without having to rework the actual Fire Spirit themselves, because then you'd have to rework the Furnace. So I think just making 2 Fire Spirits that cost 1 elixir, because 2 Fire Spirits will take out cards like Minion Horde, Minions, and all that fun stuff. So I think that that would be a good rework for Fire Spirits. Anyways, and that is why Fire Spirits is ranked at number 9. Now number 8 is going to be the Wizard, ladies and gentlemen. The Wizard seems very spendy for what he does. He does really good area damage, and I see a lot of people play him in mid-ladder because he's a very easy card to play. He's not like Electro Wizard or Ice Wizard, where they require a little bit more skill in terms of placement and everything, but at the same time too, I just feel like he doesn't quite do enough for how much elixir he costs. 5 elixir seems pretty excessive for a wizard, if you ask me. And I don't know, I feel like that, they kind of inflate the wizard's damage for his elixir cost. I think maybe if he does a little bit less damage, give him a, little bit of a damage nerf, and then make him 4 elixir, I think that would make the wizard really good. Or one other thing that you could do with the wizard maybe that Clash with Ash recommended on one of his little like podcast things or whatever is he recommended is somebody, I don't remember if it's Clash Flash or someone else, but they said that what we could do is make the wizard have a basically like burning ability whenever he does damage to cards. So basically when like cards still continue to take damage after a certain amount of time after the wizard keeps on hitting them, I think that would make the wizard a little bit better. But I think that you gotta make the wizard a little bit cheaper, maybe. 3 or 4 elixir, at most 4 elixir, and then kind of, nerf his damage a little bit, but not too much, obviously, but just a little bit, and I think that would make the wizard a lot better and a lot more meta viable. But guys, there's just, there's spells that do the job for wizard, and there's a lot of other cards out there, like even the Mega Knight's Enter the Arena ability, I feel like is a lot better than wizard in itself. Even though he does splash damage, you still have all those hit points with Mega Knight. I don't know, guys. I just think that the wizard should be cheaper. And that's why he's ranked at number 8. Now, number 7 is going to be the witch. Now, the witch, in my opinion, is worse than the wizard, and here's why. The witch, doesn't do nearly as much damage, and her skeletons are just so easy to counter. When she did her death spawn, that was in my opinion, a pain in the back to counter those extra skeletons that she would spawn. But since she doesn't do that, she's just so easy to counter. All it takes is just a simple lightning. As long as Witch is in the mix with lightning, you're pretty much going to get a positive elixir trade. And, I don't know, guys. I didn't like when Witch was OP, like when she was super duper hot in the meta, but at the same time too, I just think that she could use a bit of a buff. I think maybe have her spawn like 2 or 3 skeletons as a death spawn, I think would make her better. I liked when Supercell tried to orient her towards spawning skeletons as opposed to like an area damage dealer. I think maybe she could use a tad bit more damage. But, I don't know, guys. I just think that cards like the Wizard and the Witch are just kind of, early arena cards that are just good when it comes to learning. Kind of Clash Royale in the game mechanics, and later in the game, it's just kind of better that you just don't use them, in my opinion. Tell me in the comments below. I'm curious what you think about the Witch and the Wizard, but in my opinion, they're just kind of like noob cards, they're easy to use cards early on, but then later on you kind of realize that they're just not that fantastic, and their use rates and win rates are pretty low. But Witch, in my opinion, is worse than the Wizard, just because the Wizard does more damage than the Witch, and her skeletons are just too easy to counter, way too easy to counter, which is why she's ranked at number 7. Now, number 6 might surprise some of you guys, because this card has actually been used across the meta a tiny bit, in the past, but it just isn't really that fantastic nowadays because of Earthquake. Guys, number 6 is going to be the Freeze. Now, here's the thing about the Freeze. I don't think it does enough for the amount of elixir that costs. Kind of like most of the previously mentioned cards, I think that Freeze is too devastating at first. Like, here's the thing. Freeze is a very, very good, catch by surprise card, Like, for instance, somebody drops a balloon, and I might drop a pretty good number of air defense cards to defend against a freeze, to defend against a balloon, but then the opponent drops the freeze really quickly at first, or really quickly after I set down all those troops to defend the balloon. Then my tower is pretty much screwed, guys. Like, it's pretty much screwed because I did not see that freeze coming whatsoever. But here's the thing, though. My opponent plays the freeze, right? Maybe takes down the tower. Great, good for him, right? But here's the thing, though. Unless he can defend his towers extremely well, he's not going to be able to catch me off guard with freeze again. Because I know that he has freeze, so I'm going to be more careful to kind of spread my units around more, like my air defense units around more, so that my opponent isn't able to freeze them, meaning that I'll be able to defend against a balloon a lot more strategically, a lot better. And he probably won't be able to do any more damage to the tower unless I'm just not as skilled as he is. And so here's the thing. I think Freeze can use a lower elixir cost. Well, I mean, tell me in the comments below what you think about Freeze and what you think about this balance change that I'm thinking about for the Freeze. What I think the Freeze should be is it should be kind of like a weaker spell. Like in Clash of Clans, Freeze takes up one little like housing space or whatever, while most spells take up two. So Freeze in Clash of Clans is kind of like a weaker spell. It's just kind of like quickly set it down real quick, just to kind of freeze this for a tiny bit, and then it's just kind of done. And I think that Clash Royale should kind of implement the same kind of freeze that Clash of Clans has. I think that freeze should have a much like shorter duration, and then it should cost only 2 elixir. Maybe cut the duration in half, maybe. And I think it should do the damage. I don't think that making the freeze longer and longer over time should be a good way to upgrade the freeze. Obviously, I think in Clash of Clans, correct me if I'm wrong, I think in Clash of Clans you upgrade the freeze's range as you as you upgrade it, and I think that would be very unhealthy for Clash Royale if they implemented that into the freeze. So I think that definitely having it to steal a little bit of damage is good in terms of upgrading the freeze, and only doing enough damage to take out something like bats or skeletons. Maybe level 12 freeze can take out level 13 bats and skeletons, but maybe no more damage than that, if that makes any sense whatsoever. It can take one level higher skeletons and bats, and that's about it. Not a whole lot of damage. But I think that it should just be a quick, just place down real quick. Just, if you want to just get that little bit of extra damage, you want to just get that one extra balloon hit real fast. You want to just, get that one little sparky hit in or whatever, I think that would make it really, really good. I think that could make the freeze at times devastating. I feel like it would maybe catch opponents off guard a little bit more. And guys, tell me in the comments below, what do you think that the freeze's elixir cost should be? I think just having it be just a quick 2 elixir, just place down real fast, and just get that extra hit in, as opposed to, you place it with a win condition, and the win condition takes down the tower. I just think that, when the freeze was meta, it was extremely unhealthy, and nowadays, it's just not that fantastic, and it's only because it only catches people off guard once per game. And that is why freeze is ranked at number 6. Now, number 5 on the list is, in my opinion, the worst legendary in the game. Say it with me, ladies and gentlemen, the Fisherman. That's right, the Fisherman is going to be number 5. Now, Fisherman, in my opinion, sucks right now. He absolutely stinks. At least with Freeze, you can catch your opponents off guard, but with Fisherman, the only thing that you could really do is, if there's a win condition on the tower, you could set the Fisherman right in front of the King's Tower, pull in that win condition towards the King's Tower, and activate it. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Tornado will do the same exact thing for the same amount of elixir, and you also have a lot more archetypes with Tornado as well. I think that, in my opinion, Tornado got buffed, if anything, because its pulse strength is so much stronger. So in my opinion, I think that Tornado is just completely overshadows Fisherman. And here's the thing about Fisherman too. It's not just that the Tornado is really good right now, but it's also that the Fisherman's pull ability, how quickly that he hooks different units is so awkward, ladies and gentlemen. He just can't seem to, pull troops in a timely manner, ladies and gentlemen. I just feel like that the Fisherman should have a lot faster pull speed. Or its hook ability should be quite a bit faster. I think it should just be, it should be a lot faster. You can nerf all the You know, hit points and health all you want, but I just think that his pull ability should be quite a bit faster, and I think that would make the Fisherman a lot more meta viable. And maybe he should be a good medium, you know, not make it as fast as it was before, but make it, you know, a lot faster than it is right now. But anyways, Fisherman's just kind of an awkward card, which is why he's at number 5. Now, number 4 is going to be the Elixir Collector. Now, this card is the only building on this list. Spoiler alert, I'm so sorry. But the Fisherman, or sorry, my goodness, guys, the Elixir Collector just sucks, guys. It costs so much elixir, and you can hardly ever get the elixir return that you're asking for. You're basically investing 6 elixir. I don't remember exactly how much elixir you get in return, but it's so easy for opponents to, you know, rocket it, lightning it, fireball it, whatever. Even do stuff like Earthquake. You know, Earthquake just devastates the Elixir Collector, and Earthquake is so meta right now. You know, it's so hard to get that positive Elixir return, and especially cards like Elixir Golem just completely outshadow the Elixir Collector, which is why it is going to be ranked at number 4. Now, number 3 is going to be the Rage, ladies and gentlemen. Number 3 is going to be the Rage. The Rage, in my opinion, just kind of sucks, you know? It's, spoiler alert, it's the only spell on this list. Okay, aside from Freeze, my bad. But, you know, Rage, in my opinion, isn't that fantastic, you know? It's just a, you know, kind of hurry your troops up real quick. You know, there's one deck that it's used in, and it's that Elixir Golem deck. I actually kind of showed it to you guys. But, you know, it's not even that fantastic. And, I don't know, guys, Rage, you know, at least with Elixir Collector, you can kind of invest it a little bit. But with Rage, you know, you just don't really get much out of Rage, especially, you know, as you go up against opponents who are more and more and more highly skilled. Rage just doesn't really do anything. Like, it doesn't really matter. People can just counter the Rage, you know, with pretty good ease, if that makes any sense. I think that, you know, if they were to do anything with the Rage, you know, nerf its stats a little bit, but then make it 1 elixir. I think it would make a really nice spell cycle, or, you know, if that makes sense. And just a quick little, just kind of hurry up and just, you know, get your troops to the tower kind of thing. Make it just, you know, 1 elixir. You know, make it a little bit weaker, but 1 elixir. I think that would make the Rage pretty good. It would be really interesting with, like, maybe Hog Cycle and stuff like that, you know, get more hits from the Hog Rider, make the Hog Rider be faster and everything. I think that would make the Rage a little bit better, but in my opinion, the Rage is just kind of stinks. You know, it's good in early ladder, but just kind of sucks in late ladder, which is why it is number 3. Now, number 2 on this list is Clash with Ashes' favorite card of all time, the Elite Barbarians. The Elite Barbarians, in my opinion, suck. They suck terribly, guys. And here's why. They're good when they're over-leveled. You know, when you can't really... When your opponent doesn't have... You know, when they completely out-level your opponent's cards, I should say, they're really tough to counter. They're extremely strong. And in mid to low ladder, the Elite Barbarians are really good as just a rush and just get the tower really quick. You know, Elite Barbarians Rage and then Q in a Zap is just, you know, overwhelming in lower ladder. But in high ladder, it is so easy to counter. You know, I use P.E.K.K.A. Bridge Spam, right? You want to know what I literally use to counter Elite Barbarians? I literally use Royal Ghost to counter Elite Barbarians. That's it, guys. Royal Ghost. And with all that being said, that is why Elite Barbarians are ranked at number 2. Now, the number 1 absolute worst card in the entire game is the Royal Recruits. Ladies and gentlemen, the Royal Recruits absolutely stinks. The Royal Recruits they just suck. You know, there's 6 little troops. They're, you know, probably the least skilled card of the entire game to play because, you can only set them maybe in the back, in front of the King's Tower, or right on the bridge. That's about it, ladies and gentlemen. And here's the thing about the Royal Recruits, they're, at least when there's Elite Barbarians, you can rush your opponent, maybe get some really good tower damage on your opponent's King's Tower. Maybe, if the Elite Barbarians are completely over-leveled, they are actually, at least somewhat decent, but there is nothing that revives the Royal Recruits. They are absolutely unhealthy when they are overpowered in the meta, and they are absolutely suck when they are not overpowered. And that is why Royal Recruits is the absolute worst card in the game. Tell me in the comments below what you think about the Royal Recruits, but I just think that they just suck, and it's okay that there's some cards in the game that just suck, ladies and gentlemen. There are plenty of good cards out there, like plenty of amazing cards, but these were just the 10 absolute worst cards in the game. These cards are just pretty unusable, ladies and gentlemen, especially Royal Recruits. But anyways, again, if you like this video, be sure to check out some of my other ones. Be sure to subscribe. That would be amazing, ladies and gentlemen. By the way, thank you guys so much for all your support. I really do appreciate it so much. Stay safe out there, ladies and gentlemen. And anyways, I will see you in the next one.